Alan got here early this morning because he's an overachiever. Trying to make us look bad.
This is for you to finish digging the hole with.
Whew, now that's an excavation. You laughing?
That's an excavation right there.
We're gonna take this amazing space and make it even better. Hey everybody, it's Jack from Atlantis Water Gardens. I'm here with Alan Decker from Decker's Pondscapes. You've seen him many times on the videos. Alan, we are about to undertake a freaking awesome project, right?
It is. It's gonna be really cool.
So we're here in Saugerties, New York, up in the beautiful Catskills Mountains. It is absolutely gorgeous up here. We have such an amazing vantage point to take advantage of. Why don't we walk through exactly what it is we're doing?
This is gonna be more like what you'd see in Europe, where it's gonna be kind of more boxy. So we pretty much have a 20 by 40 marked out here, and it's going to be all out of really formal looking natural stone that's actually coming from Missouri, and the first load is supposed to show up today, so we're really going to get our eyes on it then. But these sides are pretty much going to come straight up and down, and that's what the customer is looking for. It's going to be all capped with bluestone. We actually have our wetland area over here on this corner there. It's going to be like 15 by 20. So we're just going to have to proportion it right so it kind of comes into this corner. There's only going to be a 6-inch high waterfall on this because we want more of that gurgle sound. And then back over here in about the center of the 40-foot area, this is where we're going to have a really cool waterfall drop off with an infinity edge about a 4-foot height into a big reservoir area here. So this is going to be a whole nother draw point with eventually a fire pit and stuff's going to be down here with that beautiful view over there, sitting here by a crackling fire with a waterfall coming down that looks more natural. We're gonna have formal up there, natural down here, and it's gonna be the best of both worlds.
Trying to wrap my head around the formal natural thing. I think we've talked about this for hours and hours already. It's gonna be interesting to see how this all shapes out. It's definitely a departure from what you usually see on this channel, so stick around. This is gonna be pretty epic. Man, that's a hole. We've got our excavation probably about 80% there. Today we have moved just tons and tons of dirt. We are over 7 feet deep inside this part of the excavation. There's where it steps up to about 4 feet deep, and it carries out on a slope up to 3 foot. Taking and putting all that dirt on the backside, so eventually we can cut into this and create our waterfall coming off the negative edge into the reservoir down here. We also cut the top side of the grade down on that far side. Out of there, I bet we took a good 40 or 50 yards of soil. We were able to get in 2 loads of these Missouri limestone blocks. These have been milled down to all the same thickness. Every block is 12 inches thick. That's gonna make it so we can actually stack these, overlap, and they're gonna fit like a glove. That will be the whole interior of the pond, which is going to give a nice, clean, like European style look to it. Today we took in about 50 tons on this delivery. We've got one more delivery of 25 tons coming on Wednesday. Tomorrow is to finish this dig, get our sand in the bottom to get a protective layer, fabric, underlayment, and start laying some blocks. See you tomorrow. Good morning and welcome to day 2. Let's go down the bottom of the pond. I want to show you something.
Today.
Alan got here early this morning because he's an overachiever, trying to make us look bad. He got down in the hole with the excavator, and right now we're digging a trough around the outside edge of this excavation. What that's for is to get a base material in here for the blocks we're going to be setting. Once we get this all straightened up, we're going to dust this whole thing with sand, because look how rocky this ground is. I mean, there's just rocks everywhere. So we'll need a few inches of sand to make sure that our liner's safe. Once the liner goes in, we'll use this depression to fill with our clean stone gravel. That's going to be our base material for these limestone blocks. So we can actually lay that gravel in there and then level up each block perfectly so we can start building our walls. While they finish digging the rest of these troughs and get this all straightened out, I'm going to remove the rest of all this soil here so we can get the rest of our cut done for excavation. By lunchtime, I'd like to see liner going in today.
This is for you to finish digging the hole with. Let's get it going.
Now that's an excavation. You laughing?
That's an excavation right there.
This is what our pond is going to look like. We've got all of our troughs in for where the walls are going to be going. All those depressions are done. It's all been coated with a nice heavy layer of sand. Same thing with that next shelf. So right there's going to be a wall going across here, delineating between the 7-foot deep section jumping up to 4 foot. Same thing there, we've got the troughs going around the outside there for all of our walls. A little bit of cleanup left here, then we can go ahead and install our rock pad.
All right, so this is our rock pad. Our rock pad is actually gonna help protect our liner. Even though we put sand down, there's a lot of rock in the ground. This rock pad is about 1/4 inch thick, and it's just a lot of extra protection. You could use a thinner underlayment, but when you're doing a recreation pond, don't skimp, go for the rock pad.
And that's one of the things that I always talk about is spend the money when you're building the pond to make sure you're not spending the money later to rebuild the pond. So using the rock pad, it costs quite a bit more than just a regular underlayment, but it's worth it. We're gonna be putting hundreds of tons of stone in this thing, and we don't wanna mess around with problems later. We're gonna go ahead and get this finished up with our finished grading, get the rock pad in, and then get that big 50 by 100 liner and get it inside this excavation. We had to get out of here in a hurry last night. The skies opened up and the rain came down. But just as it started to rain, we were able to get our entire liner in and pulled. We are ready to go now with the entire excavation being completely covered in fabric, and we've got our liner in. Now we're gonna go ahead, you can see Jason is rolling out some rock pad over there. We're gonna start laying it over the sides and down into the excavation. From there, we can start putting our base layer of clean stone in. That's gonna give us the ability to have base underneath the wall and level each and every block. Right now, Anthony and Billy are setting up a cutting station. We've got to go through and actually square up every one of these limestone blocks. They're milled to the same thickness. These are all 12 inches thick, but the sides are snapped off unfinished. So what we've got to do is go to the outside corners, take our square, get a nice straight face on it, and cut that little piece off so that when that goes in and the next rock comes in, it butts up completely flush and has a nice clean joint. So Billy and Anthony, you guys are gonna be running saws like all day, pretty much. How do you feel about that?
Excited. It's gonna be great.
If you've ever been on a construction site where they're using demo saws all day with that high-pitched just metal on stone sound, it's not fun, and it kind of permeates the whole work site all day long. It's just that sound coming from that saw. I feel bad for those guys, but they'll have their ear protection, their respirators, their eyeglasses, so they'll be safe. Next thing we got, buddy, is get some fabric and gravel in this thing and start laying some blocks.
This is the most exciting part for me, even as old as I'm getting. The first couple of rocks that go in, and then we're just going. And this will be a good day.
We get that base in, then we can start just stacking and flying through this thing.
And the cool part is right now we're going to take a measurement. They'll get it kind of laid out up on top of the ground, and then we'll just have a little fine tuning.
Awesome. Yes. Let's rock it. Boy, that was a long one today. All the boys are tired. We're out here just kicking some major butt, setting these awesome limestone blocks inside the pond. We've got the whole base layer down in the bottom section here. We even got 3 layers over on the left side here. We have to cut every single rock that goes in. Every one of those corners has to be cut so we can get a nice tight fit on the face. So of course that slows things down, but even with that, we were still able to accomplish a tremendous amount of work. You see over here, we got a jet line going down to the bottom. There's one in this corner, one in that corner, and there's one over there. Those are gonna circulate that water from the bottom, pushing it up. Then we're gonna have multiple jets around the surface, pushing everything towards our negative edge waterfall. We've got another bout of rain moving in tomorrow, actually late tonight. So that's gonna take and make things a little more difficult tomorrow. Expecting a slowdown, but for 3 days so far, even with dealing with a rainstorm already, I think we've accomplished a tremendous amount of work here. Come on back to the next video. We are gonna keep on rocking and rolling on the bottom of this. I expect to get all that block work done in this pond on the next video. We're here every week doing this thing. Hit that subscribe button. Come on back. See you on the next one.